I'm Alice Lutz, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm on council with the district of Sechelt. And as their representative, I attend the Arts and Culture Committee meetings. So I get the great honor of welcoming everyone today on behalf of the district of Sechelt.
These are my favorites, and they come out of my interests, my expertise in over 30 years of curating exhibitions and looking at work. But I do take responsibility for it. Process for me, this was the first time that I actually worked solely from digital imagery. And when we first talked about doing it this way, I was thinking, no, I don't know, because I'm actually a strong believer that you need to be in front of the actual work for it to really do what it is supposed to do. A facsimile, it just doesn't do the same thing. But it was an interesting process. I said, sure, I can see how I was going to make several trips up here to the Sunshine Coast. So he said, yes, okay, I'll do it this way. And as a result, the benefit of this, even though they are facsimiles and they're digital images, they're not the real thing, what it allowed me to do was to revisit the work over and over and over again, over time. Normally, in a selection process like this, all the work would be put into one space. You would come in and you would make your selection, probably there and then, maybe within an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you were lucky. And then you don't revisit it, you have to decide on the spot. This allowed me a very different kind of process. And for me, what it was is that when I first went through all the images, it would be something that would, strike me, and I like to think it's sort of an intuitive process at that point. When you first look at the work, there was something there that struck me. It could have been, how competent the work was, or it could be an interesting idea, or it could be something else, a feeling, just a feeling that I got about the work. And so then I would respond to that. And then that would be the first reading of the work. The second reading, I would look at it in more detail, and I would look at, again, not only my first impression, but secondly going through, look at the competency of the work, how well put together it is, the composition, the structure, how well the ideas that the artist was working with were communicated to me. And so this process of kind of critically looking at it in more depth took place. And then again, some stayed, some didn't in my process. So eventually getting down to a short list. So it was a very different process that I was allowed to go back and revisit the work and see if it was able to sustain itself over a number of different viewings, over a number of times. When I had time, I would bring up 2 or 3 or 4 artists and I would look at the work and think about it, and come back to those images. So it was a very, very interesting process and very different for me. And I think actually